Well, there you have it. Season 3 of Invincible is in the can. What a season. I talked about the first 3 episodes, and you can go check that out to kind of get my thoughts on that. I'm just going to talk about the rest of the season in this video. Before I get started, hit that like button. It'd be much appreciated. And subscribe if you're new. And let's get right into it. Man, episode 4 was cool. Episode 5 was probably the weakest out of the bunch. But then the last 3 episodes, episode 6, episode 7, and the finale were the best of the season. I really like the introduction of Powerplex and whatnot, and Aaron Paul, and them coming back to season 1, and him having this whole vendetta against Invincible, having this crazy ass plan to kind of use his wife and kids to lure Invincible out, because the whole episode he was kind of just ignoring Powerplex, and that whole clash between those two led to Powerplex's wife and kid being just fried to a crisp. Just crazy. And it just goes to show you the stakes are being raised every episode, even higher in this season as a whole. And then we get to the Invincible War with episode 7, and this is where Mark is really being pushed to the brink, having to fight himself, and the aftermath in that, and even Eve getting caught in the crossfire, getting her leg broke real quick and just being knocked out for a bit, just even goes to show you how dangerous this world is and what's at stake with Mark, and him constantly having to deal with not wanting to be his father, not wanting to be a killer, doesn't want to resort to that. But it gets to a point where it's like he reaches his breaking point, and which leads into the finale. And I just like the whole build up to that, you know what I'm saying? And just the whole theme that we've been going for this whole season, like the whole clash between him and Cecil. And now he's starting to kind of come around to just what Oliver has even been saying about, like, look, man, you gotta kill these motherfuckers. Like, they're trying to hurt the ones that we love. And I love the introduction, or just the inclusion of Oliver, because yes, he is Mark's little brother, but he also makes for a great sidekick as well. You know what I'm saying? He makes for a good companion to Mark, because he's willing to crash out for his brother, and he's always going to kind of push him. And I like that Oliver is starting to kind of learn things, you know what I'm saying? He understands the circumstances and just Mark's reasoning why not to kill, you know what I'm saying? So that was cool. But let's cut all the bullshit and get into this Conquest versus Invincible, or Invincible versus Conquest, or what a lot of people are going to dub Glenn versus Negan round 2, because Jeffrey D. Morgan is voicing Conquest. I love that introduction, because as soon as the Invincible War is over, Conquest pops up, and like I said, there's these constant threats just popping up. Mark is not having no type of breaks at all this season. And I love how once we get done to the recap, boom, their clashes are like literally leveling buildings and having people flying thousands of feet, hundreds of feet. People are falling out of fucking buildings and splatting on the floor. It was crazy. And you could definitely tell, and I know this has been a recurring like thing that people have an issue with, is the animation. I gotta say, like, they saved all their pennies for that fight, man, because the way the cameras was moving, the way just Conquest was fucking ragdolling fucking Mark, and Mark was putting up a great fight. He kept, fighting back, and Oliver getting involved, him almost getting fucking completely stretched, like literally getting stretched, was crazy. So he has to worry about his little brother, trying to get him out of there. He keeps getting distracted. Eve's able to kind of wake up, and thank God that Eve stepped in when she did, because her powers are really OP. At the same time, she's still human, and they show that in this, that, when she goes against Conquest, there's only so much she could do with her powers before she kind of gets exhausted, and Conquest wastes no time and just punches her so hard in the face. Her face like almost rips off. Like you could just see her exposed jaw and her mouth, bro. That was crazy. And then he just fucking puts a hole in her. And I'm just like, damn, bro, Eve. I thought at this point that Eve was going to die, but she pretty much explained that she almost did. She was very close from dying. But as you saw in her special, that, she pretty much breaks down why her powers are suppressed and whatnot. And she uses that whole, I like to call it the Dark Phoenix, whatever the fuck, where she kind of just snaps and she burns this nigga's fucking Conquest's skin, like almost off the bone, where it just, all you see is muscle and stuff exposed. And that led Mark to get an opening on him, and with his leg broken, both his arms broken, he's just beating the shit out of Conquest with his head. He's just headbutting the shit out of him. And this is where Mark makes this declaration after defeating Conquest with the help of Eve and even Oliver to an extent. He is not going to hold back anymore. Anybody that comes for his family, he is not going to hold back. And I really like that. And that has me excited for future seasons. And I'm curious to see what that was at the end. This like demon devil kind of character he's going to possess, maybe Mark, or, maybe Eve. Maybe that's who he's talking about, somebody with unheard powers or whatnot. So, and you still have those like the Martian things, those little brain things that attach to people. They're underground, so it's gonna be really interesting to see where season 4 goes. But I really like just this season overall, just for Mark's character moving forward, him constantly battling with holding back, but now it got to a point where, once all these other Viltrumites pop up, he can't just sit around and, dilly-dally and stuff like that. He's got to really take that shit serious, or else people are really going to be in some serious trouble. Also, we lost Rex, and he made an ultimate sacrifice, almost like a Vegeta-esque sacrifice, while he was fighting in the Invincible War. And I like that once everything kind of settled, the dust pretty much settled, everybody had a funeral for Rex. And you see even Eve feeling resentment because it's like they haven't talked in so long. And that was a sad moment, you know what I'm saying? And now it's just about kind of rebuilding, but knowing that there are these constant threats, it's just like Cecil's working on something with these with Sinclair and stuff to kind of get these robots upgraded and stuff like that, because he doesn't want another situation like this to pop off, because they're already kind of limited. The Immortal pretty much kind of gave up being a hero. So a lot of people after that Invincible War kind of just said, you know what, I'm gonna fall back. And also, it was cool to see Rudy kind of take on Rex's name just to kind of honor him as well. So there's a lot of little cool character moments in here. I like this season. I think this is better this personally is my favorite season so far. But let me know how you guys feel about season 3 as a whole. And I know people are going to constantly complain about the animation, which is fair, but it's just like, man, I'd rather them just kind of pump these out every year. I could take the hit on the animation side, or maybe, they'll figure something out. Maybe start to outsource certain things for people to animate. I think that's the route they should go. It shouldn't always just be in-house. You know what I'm saying? But let me know how you guys feel about it. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.